It started on a hot afternoon in Manila. After a few days of filming and walking through the streets, my clothes were a mess. Sweat, dust, humidity, everything. So I decided to find a local laundry shop. Nothing fancy, just a place to clean my clothes. But what I didn't expect was how different that simple errand would feel compared to Korea. The shop was small, open to the street, with a few old washing machines humming in the back. A hand-painted sign read, "Wash Fold 80 per kilo." 80, that's about 2001. In Seoul, that wouldn't even cover detergent. I smiled and thought, all right, let's see how this goes. As soon as I stepped inside, a woman in her 40s greeted me with a big smile. "Hello, sir. Laundry?" I nodded, handed her my bag, and expected a quick receipt like in Korea. But she didn't rush to weigh the clothes. Instead, she started talking. "Where you stay, sir? Hot day, huh?" We chatted for a minute before she even touched the laundry. That already told me this wasn't just business. In Korea, the process is automatic. You drop off your clothes, get a tag, and pick them up at a fixed time. No talk, no pause, no small talk. Here, it was the opposite. The transaction started with conversation. It felt like visiting a neighbor, not using a service. She finally weighed my clothes and said, 3 kilos, sir." 240. You get tomorrow afternoon, okay?" Then she added with a grin, "But if rain, maybe later." I laughed. She was honest. No false promise, no fake guarantee. Just reality, spoken kindly. She tore a small piece of paper, wrote Danny 3 kilo by hand, and handed it to me. That was my receipt. No barcode, no printed label, just handwriting. Somehow, that tiny note felt more trustworthy than a computer system. Before I left, she said, "Don't forget, sir, if smell not good, we wash again. No charge." Her tone wasn't salesy, it was sincere. It reminded me that in some places, service isn't measured by speed. It's measured by care. As I walked out, I noticed she waved goodbye until I turned the corner. I don't remember the last time anyone in Korea waved to me. After dropping off laundry, and that was my first clue here, even a simple wash carries warmth. The next day, I went back to the laundry shop to see how things worked behind the counter. The woman I met yesterday, her name was Marites, recognized me immediately. "Sir Danny, you come back. Very hot today, huh?" She laughed as if we were old friends, and for a moment I forgot this was a business. Inside, there was no uniform, no barcode scanner, no line of customers holding paper slips. Instead, there were baskets of clothes with handwritten names on masking tape: Liza, Mark, Danny. A few workers chatted as they folded shirts. Music played from a small radio, and someone handed out cold water to everyone. It felt less like a workplace and more like a small community center. Marites showed me where they washed and dried everything. The machines were old, but running strong. She said proudly, "We use the same soap as hotels, sir, but we fold better." She wasn't joking. Every towel and shirt looked neatly pressed, carefully folded. It wasn't robotic precision. It was pride in her work. I asked, "How many kilos you wash every day?" She thought for a second and said, "Maybe 50. But if rain, less." Then she smiled again. "We don't rush. Good work takes time." That sentence, "good work takes time," said everything about how people here see service. In Korea, speed is respect. In the Philippines, care is respect. While waiting, another customer came in, an older man with a small laundry bag. Marites greeted him by name. "Hi, Mang Tonyo, you bring the usual?" He laughed. "Yes, but please don't forget my lucky shirt." Everyone laughed together. It was such a small moment, but it showed me how personal everything felt. In Korea, you're customer number 47. Here, you're Danny, or Tonyo, or Sir. As I stood there, watching them fold and chat, I realized that the rhythm of this place was completely different. No rush, no pressure, just steady work and genuine smiles. There was no customer is king energy. Instead, there was equality. They treated everyone like part of the neighborhood. When I asked Marites how long it would take, she said, "Maybe afternoon or tomorrow morning." Depends if sun comes. I laughed, thinking how no Korean service worker would ever give that answer. But I also realized something. She wasn't being careless, she was being honest. Because in this country, truth and kindness go together. And as I left again, hearing her say, "Bye, Sir Danny. See you soon," I thought, this isn't just laundry. It's a reminder that sometimes human warmth cleans more than soap ever could. The next afternoon, I went back to pick up my clothes. It was hot again, the kind of heat that makes the air feel heavy. When I walked into the laundry shop, Maritis looked up from a pile of shirts and smiled. "Ah, Sir Danny, you're early." She didn't look panicked, but her face had that uh-oh expression. I asked, "Is it ready?" She gave a soft laugh. "Almost. Maybe later today, sir." In Korea, that answer would probably start an argument. Here, it just made me laugh. I sat down on a small plastic chair near the entrance while she and another worker continued folding. The fan was spinning lazily in the corner, and the smell of fresh detergent filled the room. Nobody seemed stressed. It was as if time flowed differently in this place. While waiting, she brought me a glass of cold water and said, "Sorry, sir. Rain came last night. Clothes take long to dry." Her apology wasn't scripted, it was genuine. And somehow it didn't feel like bad service. It felt like honesty wrapped in kindness. In Korea, everything is built around reliability. If the laundry isn't ready at the promised hour, customers complain. Here, the promise isn't about time. It's about effort. People don't guarantee speed. They guarantee care. A few minutes later, another customer came in, asking for his clothes. Maritis gave the same answer. "Maybe later, sir." "Still drying." He just smiled, said, "Okay, I come back later," and left whistling. No tension, no frustration. Everyone seemed to understand that life and laundry moves at its own pace. While I waited, Maritis started telling me stories about her family. Her daughter was in college, studying nursing. Her husband used to drive a jeepney but now helps at the shop. As she spoke, she kept folding clothes perfectly, carefully, like every shirt mattered. It wasn't just work. It was her rhythm, her way of giving something clean back to people. After about 20 minutes, she handed me a fresh pile of folded clothes wrapped in a clear bag. "Smell good now, sir," she said proudly. She was right, it smelled like soap and sunlight. Then she added, "If not dry enough, you tell me, huh?" I fix again. That last line stuck with me. She wasn't protecting herself from blame. She was protecting me from discomfort. I paid, thanked her, and she smiled, waving again as I left. No formality, no receipt, no next customer, please. Just a genuine, "See you soon, Sir Danny." And I thought, maybe that's why everything here feels slower. Because when people care about you, they don't rush you. When I got back to my room, I opened the laundry bag carefully. The clothes were clean, soft, and neatly folded, not pressed like in a Korean dry cleaner, but perfectly decent. And the scent, it wasn't perfume or detergent heavy. It was sunshine. That kind of smell you get when clothes dry slowly in open air. Each shirt was folded with care. Even my socks were paired neatly, wrapped together with a rubber band. At the very top of the stack, I found a small note that said, "Thank you, Sir Danny." Just handwriting, blue pen, a small smile drawn next to it. It was nothing expensive, but it hit me harder than any loyalty coupon or branded receipt. In Korea, laundry services are spotless, quick turnaround, consistent results, clean plastic packaging. Everything feels professional. But sometimes it also feels mechanical. Here, it was the opposite, a little uneven, a bit slower, but real. You could feel the hands that worked on it. The next day, I passed by the same street again, and Maritis saw me. She waved and shouted, "Clothes okay, sir? Smell good?" I laughed and gave her a thumbs up. It wasn't just good, it was meaningful. That's when I realized the key difference between Korean and Filipino service culture. In Korea, satisfaction comes from precision. In the Philippines, satisfaction comes from connection. Maritis didn't just clean my clothes, she took ownership of them, like she was taking care of a friend's things. Even the pricing showed that attitude. 80 per kilo, so cheap it almost feels unfair. But she never tried to upsell, never pushed extra services. All she said was, "If not clean, I wash again." It wasn't a marketing slogan, it was a promise. In a world where service often feels like a performance, this was something pure. It reminded me that good service isn't about delivering more. It's about giving honestly. I folded her note back into the laundry bag, thinking I'd keep it as a small souvenir proof that even something as ordinary as laundry can carry a message about life. In the end, my clothes smelled like soap and sunlight. But what I really carried with me was that simple reminder. Warmth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from people. The next morning, I walked past the same street again on my way to breakfast. The laundry shop was already open, and I saw Maritis hanging clothes outside, humming to herself. When she noticed me, she waved her hand high in the air. "Sir Danny, morning. You need wash again?" I laughed and waved back. That simple moment, no transaction, no reason, just friendliness, said everything about this place. I stopped by for a quick chat. She asked how my stay was, if I'd eaten, and even offered to wash again for discount next time. Her kindness wasn't strategic. It wasn't part of a loyalty program. It was her personality, genuine, open, and warm. As I left, I thought about how different that felt from Korea. In Korea, a laundry shop is all about efficiency. Drop off, pay, collect, done. Everything runs smoothly, quickly, predictably. And that's great, it fits our culture of speed and precision. But because it's so perfect, it's also distant. We value order more than interaction. In the Philippines, things aren't as fast or exact. Sometimes the clothes aren't ready when promised, and the packaging might look a little rough. But the feeling you leave with, that's the real difference. You don't just get clean clothes, you get a reminder that people here still see service as human to human, not system to customer. When she said, "If smell not good, I wash again," she wasn't protecting her business reputation. She was protecting a relationship. And that, to me, is the heart of Filipino service culture: empathy before efficiency. It made me realize how service can reflect the spirit of an entire country. Korea values discipline, precision, and professionalism. The Philippines values sincerity, connection, and care. Neither is right or wrong, they're just different expressions of respect. One respects your time, the other respects your feelings. As I walked away from the shop, I could still hear the sound of washing machines turning and laughter from inside. It was the sound of life, not labor. And I thought maybe that's what makes this country so warm. Here, even laundry feels like friendship. If Korea taught me how to run things efficiently, the Philippines taught me how to slow down and feel them. And sometimes that's what we forget. Service isn't just about doing things well. It's about doing them with heart.